Julia here. So I get a lot of people reaching out to me and they are either new authors or they're soon to be authors and they have some questions about kind of what to do next, because I think the writing portion is pretty standard. People have a lot of really awesome tips on how to write or how to edit, but there's kind of that in-between gap from when you finish your book or you're about to publish your book into kind of getting into the author industry and the author industry online. So I'm going to give a couple of tips on how to overall just kind of make that transition a little bit easier and the necessities for when you actually are an author or a newly published author. So necessity number one are active social media accounts. So I recommend having at least 2 active social media accounts. So my 2 biggest social media accounts are Instagram and YouTube, but I do have an active Twitter and Facebook as well. Most of those are just reposts in case some people don't have Instagram, or for example, I have a lot of more seasoned people on Facebook because they don't really know how to use Twitter or YouTube. So it's nice to have a kind of different ways to reach other people. I know TikTok is very popular right now. Honestly, TikTok's a little bit of a scary place, so I mean, you could go on TikTok if you feel comfortable using that, but I definitely wouldn't start on TikTok. I feel like it can be very toxic on there. But overall, just having some active social media accounts so you can kind of post about your work and make some new connections. Next up, you're definitely going to need a website. So for me, I made my website, I want to say, 4 or 5 months before the Scavenger was published. Now definitely make sure you take your time on this. I'm actually going to be talking about whether or not you need to pay to have someone make your website in next week's video, but just make sure that you have a good, easy to use, easy to find website. For me, it's jlwillow.com, so if you want to take a look at what I did, the link will be in my description, or if you just Google it, it'll pop right up. The third thing you'll need is a professional headshot. Now honestly, you don't need to do a whole photo shoot to get a headshot done. All I did was I had my friends take my iPhone and we went to a nice river where it had a nice outdoor view, and we took a headshot, and that was basically it. I recommend taking a lot of different shots and doing different poses and things, because definitely not all of them turn out great, but usually there's 1 or 2. I think I narrowed it down to 3, and it was just on the preference of what my expression was that I chose my final one. Honestly, I might do a whole video on photo shoot tips, because I actually have a lot of them, so definitely keep an eye out for that as well. The next thing you're going to need is hype. Now, what I mean by hype is you are going to need to be posting a lot about your new project or what you're working on, especially if you have a book that's upcoming. Make sure that you're not posting the same content over and over again, but you're posting interesting content. For example, if you want to take a look at all of the different content that I posted when I was promoting A Weighted Soul, check out my Instagram and my YouTube channel as well. I did all sorts of things behind the scenes of the cover design, behind the scenes of working with the illustrator for A Weighted Soul, all sorts of things so that people don't just think you're promoting the book and kind of promoting yourself, but also that you're giving them content, and that content that's interesting that just happens to be around your work or around your project. That's the kind of things that people are going to want to engage with and people are going to want to support you from. And the 5th and final tip for a new author or a soon-to-be author is to have an awesome support team. I mean family, I mean friends, and I also mean the online community. For me, I don't really have any family or immediate friends that are authors. I found some later on as I kind of continued with the process, which is awesome. But a lot of times when you start off as an intense writer or as a new author, you have a lot of questions and you don't have a lot of people to ask these questions to. So I recommend using those active social media accounts to kind of start breaching the waters and kind of seeing who's out there and seeing who you can rely on. You can absolutely ask me any questions that you'd like. You can DM me on Instagram at jlwillowbooks, or you can email me at jlwillowbooks@gmail.com. So definitely I'm active on both of those and I check my email quite frequently. Definitely when I was first starting out, I emailed a bunch of people that I respected or that I followed online to ask their advice to, so I'd be happy to pass on the favor. So that's all I have for you guys today. Are you a new author or a soon-to-be author? Let me know in the comments and let me know how you're kind of making your way through this, because I know it can be a little bit crazy sometimes, but it's definitely worth it in the end. Thank you guys for stopping by. Bye!